All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, yes, yes. I see several of you. I love your backgrounds, your Christmas backgrounds. We're going to ring in this Christmas season with our backgrounds. So if you know how to do backgrounds, you can throw them up on the coach's corner. So, all right. Our word for today is brought to you by Dr. Bob, Mr. Dr. Bob. Dr. Bob, thanks for the word. Intestinal fortitude. When I got this word, I went, what? What? And then I tried to play the two-word game and went, well, we can't do it. It's got two words in it. And Andrea said, we do them all the time. It's got two words in it. You can look it up. So anyway, I did. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. So here's where we're going this morning. Intestinal fortitude. I want you to think about these two words. Courage. Courage. Stamina. Stamina. Every time I hear the word stamina, I think great out of the gate, but not much for stamina. You know, on the first turn, they got him. Fell off. The courage and determination necessary to do something difficult or unpleasant. Used when you want to avoid using the words guts. He did not have the intestinal fortitude to implement the changes. Just didn't have the guts. Just didn't have the courage. A person's word and his or her intestinal fortitude are two of the most honorable virtues known to mankind. Who do you got in your life right now that would come to mind that just, first of all, their word's their word? If they tell you they'll be there on Tuesday, they're going to show up. Now, this person's not perfect, okay? Don't look for the perfect person. You might struggle finding him or her. But this person, if they say, I got you back, they're going to have you back. If they say, I'm going to be there at 3:00, they're coming. They're not backing out. Who comes to mind? Who's the person that comes to mind that has intestinal fortitude? Meaning they've got the guts. They got the courage. They got the stamina to keep going like the Energizer Bunny. Keeps going and going and going and going, right? You remember the commercial, the Energizer Bunny, right? Who is that person that comes to mind in your life that has that? Odds are that person is somebody that you love to be around, that you love to surround yourself with. So here's where I went with fortitude. It's having a strong will, like a strong will in the face of danger or pain. And it refers to strength in the face of adversity or difficulty. Like we've talked about this all the time, but fortitude, and now let's reflect on ourselves. Like just where do you sit in this? Like fortitude's having a strong will. Do you have a strong will? Are you easily swayed? Or do you create your own thoughts by circling the wagons of different points of views? And then is there any question in any of our minds that there's going to be adversity in our life? That there's going to be difficulty in our life? Absolutely. Like it's coming. You know, you're either coming out of it or you're coming into it, right? Or it's somewhere in the future. That's just life. It's there. But I want to be the person that when I strike adversity or difficulty, I continue to be the person that figures out ways around it, over it, under it, through it, whatever it takes. But I have the courage and the stamina to see it through. I always say this: if I've made my mind up that it's worth fighting, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight. And so, as we go through the day to day and you're thinking about intestinal fortitude, maybe it's in your health. Maybe it's in a diet you're trying to, maybe it's a goal you've got. Maybe it's your business. Maybe intestinal fortitude, your things have changed in your business and you're going to stay the fight because it's worth fighting. Maybe it's your finances and you go, man, I've lost some money in 2022, but I'm going to get it back in 2023, right? I'm going to fight the good fight. I'm going to put it back, right? I can go through, I can talk about all of those and people in our life that has been, that's all been an adversity for. But the ones I want to follow through my history lessons is the ones that had the courage and the stamina to see it through. So great word, Dr. Bob. Thanks for intestinal fortitude today. Andrew, I'll turn it to you.
Okay, and Coach, just so you know, I'm getting some messages looking for you. So your 10 a.m. might have actually been at 9 a.m. So the link is in your text, and just in case you need to jump off. So
okay, I'm jumping off.
All right, great message. Hey, thank you so much.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Well, Merry Christmas. Happy Tuesday. Okay.
All right. So the quote that I found was, pray for intestinal fortitude, work hard and keep the faith. Oh, and pray for good luck. You're going to need it. And that's Jerry Reed. And when I saw this word, I will admit that my first reaction was to giggle because it's kind of funny. Like, it's a funny little term. My second reaction was to think about my dad, because this is a phrase that he has used all growing up. And, you got to have this, you have that. And when I hear that phrase, I think grit. Like if you've got intestinal fortitude, like you can almost feel that phrase when you talk about it. It's you're gritty, you persevere, you are empowered, you have this courage, and you know how to stick it to itiveness. I don't even know how to say that word, but you stick with things. And once we start thinking about these different qualities, what I realized is they're all things that we develop inside ourselves. Right? This isn't something that, you just come by, intestinal fortitude. This is something that through life's trials that we're all going to have, we develop, right? This doesn't magically, it's kind of like you don't get tougher from sitting around on the couch. You get tougher from going out and doing some battles. And that's all I can picture here. So the direction that I went into was some questions we can ask ourselves. So some gut check questions. I'm so entertained by this, Dr. Bob. So thank you. That we can ask ourselves to decide if we have the intestinal fortitude to serve and lead others. Because I think about that with, what many of us do. That's what we do. We serve other people and we lead other people. So just some questions, and I don't know the right answers and I don't know the answers for you, but just some questions. So first of all, how much personal satisfaction do you gain from serving others? And I think about Kathy on here, where she's like, today is the greatest day of Christmas because we gathered all these gifts and today we get to give them all away. Right? So that to me can show that you've got some intestinal fortitude, that you get joy from serving other people. But if on the flip side, if your honest answer is not so much, right? I don't really love serving other people. I'm going to keep those 130 gifts and stick them under my bed. I just want to sleep on them, right? Well, then maybe we need to reset our ambitions on what we want to do, right, for a living. Next, are you comfortable with not being the center of attention? And, sometimes we can think that in our field that we have to get comfortable being the center of attention. But really, if we're doing our job well, we're going to be in the back. And we're going to be lifting up all these other people in front of us, right? So are you okay with that? Next, do you prefer ending your day feeling like you absolutely accomplished something, like you got everything done. Well, you know, in many things in life, whether you're building an empire or going on a diet or running a marathon, your accomplishment isn't going to truly be seen until next month or next year or 10 years from now. So it takes that intestinal fortitude. I keep touching my tummy. It takes that intestinal fortitude to hang in there. Next, do you wake up and want to know exactly what your day is going to look like? Like, I know, and if you guys, this is me. I make a little checklist every morning. It's my favorite part. Like, as I'm going to bed at night, I make my little checklist and I say, okay, I'm going to wake up at 5. And at 5:15, I'm going to be walking down the stairs. Like, I got to be ready for the day. And then at 5:30, I'm going to be reading my self-development, and I better be done with that by 6, because at 6, I got to be outside and on my first exercise. And like, I love my little, you know, spreadsheet of my day. But when you work with other humans, you've got to be flexible, because just like we saw with Coach, he thought he had a 10 a.m., but actually it was at 9, and he works with other people. So you just have to have that fortitude to shift gears constantly when you work with other people. Next, number 5 is, do you prefer, it's so fun when you see yourself in the weakness. Do you prefer making decisions that make everyone happy? Oh, I want to make everyone happy. When I come on here, I want to greet every single person, and I want you to smile. When, you know, I go through the day, I want everybody that I interact with to feel better because they happen to have an interaction with me. I don't ever want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I don't ever want to make anybody unhappy. But if we're going to lead, and if we're going to serve others, sometimes we get forged in a fire of tough decisions. You know, and it could be something as small as, I'm going to be in Jackson, Mississippi, instead of being in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Like, you have to decide where you're going to focus. Or it could be, you know, bigger decisions, but we've got to be willing to ruffle a few feathers in order to serve and lead other people. And then lastly, do you have the moral courage to stand tough and take the heat during times of adversity? There's gonna be, like, life is beautiful and a blessing and such a gift and is filled with these amazing moments. And then on the flip side, when you're doing hard things, there's going to be hard moments. So do you have the intestinal fortitude, the backbone, the courage to stand tall and work through those tough moments to continue to serve others and lead others in the best direction? So, Dr. Bob, this was a fun one. I know I say that every day because I think everyone is really fun, but this was a really good one. It definitely created some good thought and some good conversation. So thank you for that. And guys, thank you so much for being on here today. We'll see you back on Wednesday. I know we're going to have Chalk Talk today at noon. I haven't put it out there yet. I will put that out there, but I'll see you guys all back at noon and look forward to seeing you guys all back. Tomorrow. So love you guys. Have a great Tuesday.
Thanks.
Bless.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.